106 laps complete here at Rockingham. Jeff Gordon's the leader because of the timing of the caution flag. Rusty Wallace and Mark Martin are on the tail end of the lead lap. Schrader, Labonte, Earnhardt, and Sterling Marlin are your top 5. The most consecutive races finished. Darrell Waltrip hasn't fallen out of a race since Talladega in July of '93. That's 40 races. The all-time record, Herman the Turtle Beam, from 1961 to 63, finished 84 straight races.
He was good and consistent.
Very.
Boy, I thought he stood a good chance of not finishing Charlotte when he got with his brother Michael Waltrip. They hit hard with 1 or 2 laps to go there, and he barely drug that car across the finishing line there to make that last race. I thought it was over.
Well, the string goes on. Jeff Gordon going to have a hard time putting a lap on these 2 cars.
He is.
That's 2 of the best right in front of him there. Jeff Gordon's a little bit quicker right now, but these guys are trying to stay in that lead lap, and they're not going to do anything but race as hard as they can, try to keep them behind.
Jeff Gordon's smart enough. I don't think he would do anything foolish. He'll let him go.
Now, right now, with Wallace on the tail end of the lead lap, Earnhardt could clinch the championship. Mark Martin wasn't waiting around. Got underneath Rusty Wallace. Now, what will Jeff Gordon do?
Jeff Gordon's going right on by on the inside. He's got that preferred line. He puts Rusty Wallace a lap down. That was not. I know when he seen that 6 car come up under there, Rusty said, "No, man, don't do this."
Well, it just opened the door. Still, Jeff Gordon had to come through it. So.
Yeah, I'm afraid that Mark Martin not going to have much to say about it either. Jeff Gordon's car is really working in the center part of the corners where he's really doing all the damage to the other cars.
One thing we saw yesterday, and buddy, you mentioned about Harry Gant at the top of the show. A car will run really, really well, and then they'll make a change on it and go what seems like a little change, but it goes so far the other way, and that car won't run well for a while.
Mike, Rockingham in the past has always been a racetrack that one dominant car, you run 100 miles, you lead, and it looks like nobody can touch you, and all of a sudden somebody will make that magic turn on the jack screws, and all of a sudden that's the dominant car for 100 miles. It's never over here until that last lap is run.
Another thing, like you noticed, the sun has come out all over the racetrack now, and it's definitely getting hotter.
What does that do? What kind of change does that make in the car?
Well, a lot of times it all depends on how your car is set up, but if your car is a little bit tight, a lot of times it makes it tighter as far as the front end don't stick, and it pushes up the racetrack. But if you're a little bit loose, it makes it real loose.
You see Rusty Wallace trying to make that lap back up now. He is under Jeff Gordon getting into the corner. I'd say Jeff is going to not worry too much about them getting back in the lead lap right now. I think he may have just a little bit of push in the center part. From the center part to the straightaway, it looks like he loses ground right here. You see Rusty pull away about 3 or 4 car lengths coming out of the corner.
It's a little too early right now for him to worry about it.
Yeah. I would say Jeff is doing what he has to do right now. Until that second place car catches him and puts a little heat on him, you won't know exactly how fast he is.
That's true.
Riding with the race leader, Jeff Gordon.
He might be fairly new in this game, but he's smart. He knows exactly what to do.
I'd like to be 22 years old and have about 15 years experience winning races.
What do you
I
mean
would.
15 years? I'd like to be 21.
Ken Schrader has taken the lead from Jeff Gordon, and Terry Labonte followed him through up into second place. And you can see they moved away from Gordon just a bit. Let's show you what happened while we were in break.
You can see the 24 car here of Jeff Gordon is not staying on the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes Schrader, a good run down the straightaway. Team cars usually give each other a little room. You see him just kind of back out a little bit, give him racing room on the bottom. And Schrader's now in the lead.
It's the 8th race that Schrader has led this year, and he needed those 5 Winston Cup bonus points. He's that close with Mark Martin for 3rd in the points. Jeff Gordon has now dropped back to 3rd. Let's go to his pit. Here's Randy.
Well, guys, Jeff just came on the radio, said I have a bad set of tires. That is not a bad set of Goodyears. That is a mismatched set, or a set that's not quite as quick. He said the car pushes and it's loose. So I think he's pushing in the middle and maybe loose coming off, but he's definitely got 2 problems. We'll try and correct it next stop.
Thanks, Randy. Kenny Schrader leads this race, and he's coming up on a strong pack of cars. Darrell Waltrip, Mark Martin, Rusty Wallace.
I know he got a bad problem if he's pushing it loose, too.
Yes. Schrader started 24th and has come to the front.
Yeah, and that guy right behind him there, Terry Labonte, I made mention of the way he runs the race. He's got a lot of race car there. He's using a different groove than Schrader. He's protecting his tires. He'll be the man to watch all day long.
There's a look at Terry's race so far. Hasn't run any less than 5th in this race. Started from the outside pole.
You know, Mike, you see these 3 cars running 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. I have seen them go in and open up the books and show each driver what they're running, right rear, right front. They share messages about test programs and everything. That's why these race cars run so well, is the Hendricks group works together, not against each other.
Some teams find a way to make advantages of 2 or 3 car teams. Some teams it's divisive. Some teams it works to advantage.
Well, I tell you, that sometimes can be one of the toughest things a race car driver can go through is a team deal, because when you work in the same shop, if a car wins the race and you run 2nd, they kind of look over at you like you're a 3rd-class citizen or something. And it makes it for a long week. You can't wait to get back to the racetrack and try to outrun them.
Only for that week. As Schrader laps Darrell Waltrip, let's look back and find the man who's leading the list to cut points. There's Earnhardt in 5th place. Sterling Marlin's moved up to 4th. Earnhardt's 5th. Bill Elliott has climbed to 6th. Kyle Petty is shown in 7th. Ricky Rudd in 8th. Morgan Shepherd in 9th, and Michael Waltrip 10th. Right now, Earnhardt is in a position to clinch the championship today.
You know, David, yesterday we had wreck after wreck after wreck. Today, the Winston Cup drivers, they have a little more time on the racetrack. They have a little better racing surface because it does have a groove now, upper and lower. Look at the pass to the lead here.
Terry Labonte. And Sterling Marlin has gone by both Jeff Gordon and Kenny Schrader.
I think that what they're doing there is the all-team cars, and they're letting all 3 of them lead so many laps.
I don't know. Somebody better go up in front of those guys that we're talking about there and tell Terry Labonte that. He's got a pretty good lead right now.
Riding with Jeff Gordon.
You was talking about the racetrack, that they're getting more experiences, more time on the racetrack practicing. These guys here know that this is a 500-mile race, and they're taking their time. They're not really trying to work the groove in up high right quick like some of the other guys are trying to do. If they run it behind traffic, they say, well, we got plenty of time for this week.
I think that's more of a difference, too. You got 492 laps to sort this thing out.
You see Terry Labonte there trying to put DW another lap down there. I tell you what, Darrell's picked up the speed. He's got a lot of race car. He's a smart guy. He does not, you notice he's running a high groove there and running quite well.
Coming up on 150 laps here at Rockingham. Here's how they're running. We'll be right back. Today live on TNN after today's race, the Professional Bull Riders Championship, live from Las Vegas.
Oh, I watched a little of that yesterday. I thought race car drivers were on the loose end. Woo! I'm going to tell you, it scared me sitting on the bed watching that.
Pretty exciting stuff, though, huh?
It was.
Terry Labonte leads this race over Sterling Marlin, Ken Schrader, Jeff Gordon, and Dale Earnhardt. 5 Chevys at the front of the field here. There's one of them, Terry Labonte, right behind the Cale Yarborough car with Jeremy Mayfield.
Yeah, you don't see the 3 abreast racing here today like you did yesterday. I guess the racetrack was a lot tighter yesterday, and guys thought they could do things that you're not supposed to do at Rockingham. I asked the guy, I said, what about this racetrack? What's it like? He said, it's just like the old racetrack was. If you try to do too much, you get in trouble.
Jeremy Mayfield. You're in the 98 car, rather you're on the roof of the 98 car. Tracking Terry Labonte into the corner as they move up on Ted Musgrave. Jeremy's 2 laps down. Getting to be a partly cloudy day here at the Rock. It was really overcast and a bit slimy this morning. Ooh, Nemechek almost in the wall up there.
As I spoke about 3 wide, you saw Joe Nemechek go in 3 wide and got bumped just a little bit, and he got up in the gray area, the top part of the racetrack there. And I'm telling you, it was a wreck. It just didn't happen.
He and Derek Cope got together. show you that again. Oh, we saw a lot of this yesterday. 3 into turn 1 doesn't go.
No, everybody wants to get down in that preferred line. They touch just a little bit. Now watch Nemechek go up right now. He's up there where he don't want to be. He's out of the throttle trying to get that thing to stay straight. That's all you worry about there, not whether you lose positions or time or anything else. You just want to stay straight.
Yeah, he's holding his breath right then. You want to do that.
Yeah, that happened right in front of the leaders. Judy from Illinois called in on our 800 number. What is this man's real name? Driver's Bud Moore's 15 car. It is Lake Chambers Speed.
World karting champion.
He's running good today. I wonder what Bud Moore said to him yesterday during a pit crew race.
David, I believe you're just a little bit. Oh, look at Kyle Petty up into the wall.
Nobody touched him.
Looks like he might have had a flat tire or something broke on that car because he just went straight up. Yellow flag is out.
Kyle's called in on the radio and said the right front tire went down. Lap 160, Kyle Petty into the wall. Tight moment there for Lake Speed, who was in 10th place, right behind him. I'll show you what happened here.
Well, he's just in line there, and you see what happens when that right front goes. He's got the wheel cut, but it's going straight up. The black mark there is where the blown-out tire was locked up.
That was a hard lick, too.
Kyle's wearing one of his dad's helmets. Richard had some helmets made with carbon monoxide filters in them and an fresh air system, clean air system, and Kyle's got one of those on today.
Well, you can see Kyle moving around in there. That was a hard lick, as David mentioned there, but you see Kyle moving around in the car. He's waiting on the safety crew to get there. They'll help him get out in the whole bit because there is a lot of bank here.
Now the leaders come onto pit road as the caution wave. Mark Martin and Rusty Wallace came all the way around, so they are on the lead lap. So the caution was really a break for Mark Martin and Rusty Wallace. Let's go to Randy Pemberton on pit road.
Well, it's one round of wedge for Kenny Schrader and this team here, led by Ken Howes. They're going to go ahead and go with 4 tires, as everybody will. Car was evidently just getting a little bit loose. This team, of course, won the Victory Championship a couple of years ago. He's down and away. Glenn Jarrett?
Well, down in Terry Labonte's pits, they've already got the right sides done, Randy. They're a little bit of trouble on the left side here getting the car up. Now they've got it done. They did the right side very, very fast. And he's not going to make it out back to the lead. In fact, the 2 teammate cars have already gone by him. He comes out in 3rd place. Interestingly enough, this is one of the only tracks that a Hendrick car has not won in. So they got the first 3 cars today. They may change that.
22-second stop for Labonte. And we'll be back to North Carolina Motor Speedway after this. Pit stops are pretty much done under caution, but they continue to work to remove Kyle Petty's car from the wall up at turn number 4. There you see it being hooked up to the wrecker, and now finally they'll get it down off the banking. 164 laps complete. Let's go to pit road. Here's Glenn.
Well, Mike, I'm down in Dale Earnhardt's pits, and I talked with Richard Childress, the crew chief. Dale had radioed in during that run that the car had gotten pretty tight, but yet he remained a top 5 car. He ran in 4th and 5th position throughout most of that run. Richard said that they did adjust the car. They're doing it with air pressure. They're not going to do too much at one time. They're afraid of going too far. He said the car's not that bad right now. They just don't want to make any radical changes. They just want to keep making real small, minor adjustments on it to get it more to his liking. I tell you what, if the car's that tight and running in the top 5, if he ever does get it right, he may run off and leave him.
That's possible. Question from Paul in Vermont. Environmentally speaking, what happens to tires and scrap metal? Well, the tires get sold to race fans for $5 to $20, and the scrap metal usually ends up on the walls of restaurants. We'll be right back.